Hey guys, welcome, and today we're going to be doing another Photoshop tutorial, and it is going to be on more text, more specialized text. So anyways, stay tuned and we shall get into this. Okay guys, so today we're going to be doing text in the style of Super Metroid. Anyways, my friend here, Boss, he is a die-hard Metroid fan, and I put him together a little Facebook cover photo for him in the style of Metroid. Well, I mean, as far as in the text Super Metroid, but Metroid themed cover photo. So I figure if anybody's interested in learning about this and wants to do, I don't know, more text for a project or whatever the case may be, you guys can look on this tutorial and be like, oh, okay, this is how you do it. Well, anyways, the first thing is that the text was really, really difficult to find. I did some research on it, and I don't know, it just, for some reason, that specific font is hard to find. I searched all over for it. So the solution that they came up with, or like a lot of people did their own kind of like style themed Super Metroid logos. And if I go here, get my text tool out. Alright, let's highlight that text. I did just for instance. Alright, there. It's called Argentina. And if you just Google it, it should give you the link, or it should be up there somewhere. We just do that Argentina font. Oops, I looked it up previous. There it is, Argentina font. So kind of looks like this. I mean, that's the closest that I could find to resemble the Metroid style text. But if anybody watching this video happens to come across the actual text or something even better than this, that'd be great. So let me know so I could redo his picture. But so once you download it, you just drag the font file into your folder, to the font folder. You could just simply go here and just type in fonts, and it should pull it up. This one right here with the little A symbol. But anyways, getting back to Photoshop. Once you have the text, excuse me, we will do another one here. It's file new. Once we click off of that, file new. Alright, so I have his preset saved. If anybody's wondering about Facebook cover photos, that is the dimensions of it. It's 851, the width of it, and the height of it is 315 pixels. So anyways, we'll create a new one, and we'll put the text here. We'll do something in black so it's easier to see. And I don't know, we'll just do super, like in the style of Super Metroid. So if anybody's ever wondering too, you can, when you take your text tool, you see how if you highlighted these options over here to the side, actually control how far and spaced apart your letters are, or how close they are together. So if anybody was ever interested in that, that's also helpful, so you don't get that really spaced out look if you want it, or that really close look. Excuse me, guys. Anyways, so we'll just bring them closer together, and we will hit OK. Alright, so now, also here you could add a boldness to it if you wanted to, which we might do too. Add a boldness to it, and a slant if you want. Don't necessarily have to do that. Anyways, so we're done with this. Let's make this a little bigger. If you hold down Shift, it'll keep the ratio of the font. Alright. I don't know, for some reason Super is looking weird to me. way it's spelled. It's just a me thing. So we're gonna go to blending options. If you right click on the layer that you're trying to get to, and we're gonna go to a gradient, and then this will give you that same like style color. So actually, let me just cancel this for a quick second. So you can get the specific colors of like the Super Metroid logo, and if you look, it's like orange on the top or yellow on the top, and it like kind of gradients down to like a red, like a blood red. Or I mean, in some other logos, it even goes down to like an orange, like a deep orange, almost to red. But it's really your preference. So back to Photoshop. You're gonna just do that exact thing I told you, blending options, and right here is a gradient overlay. You're gonna want to mess around with this, and we're going to right or left click, and it'll bring you up to the color modifier. So what you can do is you select the first color, or like the first box. You could tell like the black's on the bottom and the white is on the top. So what you do is you could start either way, it doesn't matter. So just click the black box, and then it kind of gives you the eyedropper tool because you're looking for a color. So you would hit the bottom, it would go to red, obviously, and then you do the same process for the white one. Go up to the top part in yellow, and you could choose whatever colors you want. But if you want to follow the same exact pattern as it, you would just do this. So then you're pretty alright with that. Also, too, I have a small stroke on it, which I'm going to get to in a second. You're going to hit OK. Okay, we got the color down. And something I forgot to tell you guys in the beginning is if you just highlight your text again, up here, this button here, it allows you to warp your text. So, okay, so I had to remove one of my things to get the text down. So what they have is it's flat on the top, or it kind of like smaller on the top and bigger on the bottom. It's kind of like the shape is like a trapezoid almost. And where is it? I would say maybe a shell. I don't remember the exact one that I had for. Just highlight the boss text. Alright, I had arc upper and a 29 plus vertical distortion. So arc upper, arc upper, arc upper, and 29. Oh, put the bend down, so you don't want to bend. 29. See, and it's up to you how far you want to bend this. I'm just gonna follow my previous one. Alright, so super. There we go. Bended. Looks starting to look kind of similar to the Metroid. Let's see, maybe if we can get a picture here. Maybe a better one. It'll load up. Alright, here we go. We'll just copy image and paste. Alright, so let's just shrink it down so it's not completely in our way. Apply. See, like I said, the font itself isn't identical to it, but it's something similar. So actually, I think I'll make the bends slightly smaller. I feel like it's bending a little too much. Maybe a 23 might be a little better. And then also too, like I said, they had to take it away, but you can like bring it closer so it's not so far apart. Because if you look, I believe like the S is closer to the U. I wonder if they'll let you do this. I think they will. Oh yeah, they will. See, you can individually space the letter if you highlight the one. See, I think that looks pretty good. What's that? All right, let's do the same thing for the ER. Let's bring it a little closer to the P. Or actually, no, that's probably not doing that right there. Let me just bring that back. All right, so you gotta play around with it a little bit, but you get what I'm saying. You'd have to, I guess the previous letter, you'd have to do it to get it closer to it to make it look better than what I originally had have it. So let's just do the U to bring it closer to the P. Just a little bit. Alright. See, it looks a little better. So anyways, now that we have the text the way we want it, we're gonna do this. So now for a little trick that I learned just from tutorials before, and you know, just kind of figuring it out as well, is for creating like this 3D effect for your text. And what you would do is you would take the text that you originally made, like for instance, like how we have here, super. So what we're gonna do is hold Alt, and you're gonna press down while holding Alt. And what it's gonna do is it's gonna create another layer of text, but it's gonna put it underneath. It's gonna slowly put it underneath the super, and it's gonna create all these multiple layers to where it looks like it has this 3D effect. So let me just show you. I'm just gonna clone it or duplicate the layer really quick, just to have a copy, because I want to turn off the effect or the gradient. So, and then for instance, we'll do that there. Alright, so anyways, so now the black is represented as the layer that we're going to copy, so you can see kind of like the 3D happening. So what you're going to do, like I said, is hold Alt and press down. Oh, make sure also too you have the move selection tool highlighted, and then down, 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 down. You see? It kind of creates like this like effect, the 3D of the text. And you can keep going as far down as you'd like to go. It's totally up to you. So like that. See, so if you see, I mean, right now you can't see because the super is layered. Was it kind of like behind, but on top of the Metroid part of the text? So technically it's there. If you look at the P, like here, like let me show you if we do it. So right there, you can kind of see it's like the P there, how it kind of comes down, and it's got like this it's like a purple to down to like a red burgundy color, and it goes down that way. So pretty much the same thing we're gonna do here. All right, let's go back. Oops. So anyways, here, now that we have all these layers, I mean, if you wanna, I'll enter like one more time, just for the hell of it. Okay, so now what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to your very first copy that you made on the layers. So we'd made super copy all the way up to super copy 16, and you're gonna hold shift to highlight them, highlight all of them. And then what you're gonna do is right click, and it's supposed to have an option here called merge layers, but if it's not there, then you could check up here, right here, merge layers. Bam. So now I did is combine all the layers together, so then we can manipulate that from the text itself. So what we're gonna do here is blending options, and we're gonna do that gradient. So see here how it's kind of like now we can control the color of it. The same thing like we did with the other text. We're gonna go down to the gradient, double click it, and let's see. I just want to get a color that's kind of similar to it. I just gotta. I mean, this Metroid symbol is pretty good too. You know, let me do this. Sorry guys, cancel. Paste. Alright, so sorry about that. big, huge behemoth thing. I'm just doing this for reference to the text. Alright, so once again, go in here, blending options, gradient overlay, double click it, double click that, and then now from the bottom it's more of a lighter. It looks slightly lighter, and then you do the same thing from the top one. You're gonna grab, you're gonna click the box so you can have the eyedropper tool select the color, and you can do that. You see mine, I might have to play with it a little bit. It looks more of like a dark purple, but you want him a difference. So alright, let's kind of like make this a little brighter. And then we'll just darken this a bit. Let's see, and then here, and then we're gonna hit OK. So what it did was it created that gradient, even though it's you see how it kind of like darker on the top, lighter on the bottom, but we want it like where the text is, like for instance around the S, you want it dark there and drift down to light. So right here we can change the scale of it. I can kind of mess around with it as well. I don't know if you could see that kind of going. Let's see, linear angle. No. Reflect. So you can kind of mess with it around, mess around with it, but that's kind of like how I got it. Is either it's up to you, radical or linear. But for instance, I think, oh yeah, no, that's just, yeah, we'll just stick with angle, or have it reflected. Yeah, reflected looks pretty good. So you can do that, and you see you kind of got it. You kind of got the same style, and then I did to like put like kind of like an extra. I don't know how to make it. Make it stand out slightly more from the side of the, like the 3D part of the text. Is I added a small stroke to the super text. So we're gonna go back to blending options and stroke. So it's gonna create like this really like thick, heavy outline, and I don't have it that heavy. So I do is black, and I'll turn the size down to like 1. And you can play around with this. You can even type in, I think 0.5, right? I think 0.5 would work. Oh no, it's got to stay between an integer. All right, so that right there, and you can even turn the opacity down so it doesn't look so like vibrant or like so thick. So there you go. I kind of got that going. So you see what I mean? It looks pretty awesome. And then we do kind of similar, the same thing. Alright, let's just copy this just to be safe so we don't mess up our work. So duplicate those layers. Boom. And now since they're already highlighted, now we can right click, or we'll go over here, merge layers. Bam. So now we can move, same thing, we don't really need that picture for reference anymore. I'm gonna just to be safe, to have all my stuff there, duplicate it one more time. Okay, so we got Super 2, but it's gonna change the name because we want Metroid. So if we look, that's our copy, and here's Super, and we're gonna change this name to Super BG, just to stay organized. And I believe there we go. Now that we got that, just keeping everything together. So now we'll get rid of this. See, now all that's together. We have one word. Now from here we are going to take our text tool, and then we're going to do Metroid. Boom. See? It's kind of the same. And since we copied it, all that work that we did is already, you know what I'm saying? It's already done, so you don't have to keep going back. The only thing you want to mess around with is you want to take the tool and you want to space out the letters a little better, because see how here they're kind of like going into each other, and you don't want that. So you're gonna do is you're gonna take the same tool that we messed around with before. See, and you want to space that R so you can see it a little better. The same thing with the E. Oh, not, you don't want to space out them individually. You just want to space the E away from the T. Oh, whoops, the other way. See? I think it's starting to, it looks, oh, they're still slightly touching, so you're gonna just do a little bit more. Oops. Boom. See, that looks a lot better to me. Maybe slightly closer. Like I said, you just play around with it a little bit, you'll get the gist of it. Boom, boom, boom. Oops. I say go for a, so it keeps warping from -5 to -25. Let's do like a -15. Yeah, that looks better. See, and then the same thing from the O from the I. Oops, that's the wrong direction. Better. And the R from the O. I guess the R from the R to the O, you can make that a little closer. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Alright, so now kind of got it looking better than we did before. It already has all the effects that we have. So now we just got to go with the same step, and is to create the copy behind it and bring it downwards too. And if I remember correctly, we did a 1 copy and then 16 extra more. So let's just do that again. So remember, like we did before, duplicate the layer. Oh wait, cancel first. Make sure, or actually, sorry, go along with the copy. Duplicate it. Okay. And then what we're gonna do is take the gradient off, move this layer behind that Metroid, and then we're gonna start the process. So remember, hold Alt and press down. When you have your selection tool highlighted. Down. 1, 2, 3. Until we get to that 16 that we had. Alright, so 16, there it is. Boom. So now we are going to go over here and go down to the very first copy of the Metroid. Right? And back up to our 16th copy, holding shift to highlight them all, and then go over here to layer and merge layers. Boom. Alright, cool. See, we got that down. So back to here, blending options, and we want that gradient overlay. Let's see. Gradient overlay and double click. I think we wanted reflected, and we just got to get those same colors. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cancel really quick. Let's get our super back out here. Oops, super. See how it's kind of got the look going. All right, and or if we go here, see that's why I said it was good to keep everything separate. If we're gonna go back to the super here, the background, and blending options. And all we're doing is stealing the colors. So what we can do is save. Yeah, why not? load. Actually, let's hit cancel. Sorry about that, guys. Right click and new. So all you do is hit new. I apologize for that. So hit new. It creates the color gradient that we had. So now we're gonna hit OK. Back out. Just hit cancel. Now we go back to our Metroid copy because we're trying to manipulate the background there. Blending options. Gradient overlay. We have the reflected angle like we did before. And we go into that and we go and find our saved color. Bam. There it is. Hit OK. Hit OK. And it's looking pretty good. So now from here we're going to make those copies like we did before. Duplicate. Boom. Now we have a copy of it, so we're going to go here, merge layers, boom. Alright, so now these are all our reference files, so just in case. And there goes. So now we have Super, and like I said before, like if you look at the actual text itself, Metroid is technically in the front, and Super is behind it because you can't see the bottom layer of its like the 3D part of it. So what you're gonna do is drag the Metroid copy, the reference that we have here, over it, and then now highlight Super, and then you have the selection tool highlighted. So now we're gonna come up here. Well, I should probably move that down a little bit. So just like I said, mess around with it a bit. Boom. And this looks alright. Nah. Metroid. So it shows here, because it's a picture that we have, we can manipulate it a little bit more. It's saying that Metroid is like, if you look at the ratio to it, it looks a little like further out. And then the D, the same thing with the D. Boom. Apply transformation. So it looks okay right there. And let's move that one file that we have for reference away. It's getting in the way now. And it looks like it has one stroke. Like it has a black effect behind the whole thing. So now that we're gonna do, I'm just gonna highlight these and move them to the center of the. Okay, it's looking really good so far. So now we have those, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy them one more time, just like I said, so we could always go back and edit something if it's not happened to be that good. We're gonna do is merge those two copies. So let's get rid of so we don't see them. So now we can move it as a whole picture, and we can add effects behind that as well. So what I'm gonna do is maybe I might have to do an emboss. Let me just mess around with this. This actually kind of comes into my older tutorial, and since this one is technically the one behind it, let's do blending options. Blending options. Gradient overlay color. We're gonna want a bevel and emboss. Here we go. You know what I'm gonna do is we're gonna take this, and we kind of got the shape of it, and I want to do where we select just a little trick just to get that background black and everything. I'm gonna hit the what is it here? The magic wand tool, and so it's gonna select all the outer edges, and while it's still selected, the quick selection tool, and I believe if you hit Alt, it'll get rid of some of the stuff. Alright, this is just like extra stuff to make the logo look more official. So while holding Alt, it does is, because when you click with the right here, the magic wand tool, it's going to select everything in that same color from the background. So you could essentially delete backgrounds that way. So what I'm doing is holding Alt to remove some of the selection that it's chosen itself. So now from here, since I have this all highlighted, now you see everything around Super Metroid is technically highlighted for us to manipulate whatever, if there was stuff back there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit right click, and it's going to, there's this option here called select inverse. So now instead of everything in the background, it's everything that we have there. So now from here we can color, like say for instance, I'll just show you what I mean. So now we want the color black because the background is black. You see here I can color outside the lines, and or like color in it, and I can't go outside the lines. So it creates like a silhouette, almost like a tracing line. So you see that there, that we can do this, and it forgot some of the stuff. So now since we got most of it colored, you can unselect it by having the selection tool and just left clicking anywhere on the screen. It's up to you. So now we're going to take the pencil tool just to get those little holes and color them, right? Okay, now the whole thing, it's technically our logo that we made, or the text, but all in black background. So now if we were to put our Metroid text, we got that nice cool black background without it interrupting and looking sloppy. And you got that nice black outline. So if we go back to the original reference file, wherever I put it, no, that's kind of it. Oh, whoops. If I drag it out of there, out of that corner, you see it's kind of got that same thing, but the outline's like slightly thicker, which we can change with a little emboss. Let's do it, or with a stroke. With a stroke even would do the same trick. So let's go back to that same Metroid copy with the black background. We're gonna right click, blending options. We're gonna go to stroke. See how it created that like outline around the whole thing, because we kind of made it its own object. So the same thing like we did before, color, make it black, and you can adjust that size of it. I think 3 looks actually legit. Hit OK, and there you go, guys. Look at that. That looks very, very nice. I'm just gonna do it because I got that duplicating OCD, if you see all my layers, and we're gonna merge those layers. So now that is our finished product. See, and let's change the aspect just so you can get that logo. And then our copy reference, wherever I decided to move it. Oh, whoops, once it allows me to apply. See? And I just gotta find where I put it. That's our background. See, that's why it's a lot better to get it. But if you look, see, yeah, that's a low resolution picture, but it's kind of similar to what we to the actual logo itself. All you got to do is you can actually manipulate this, if I'm not mistaken. Like, you can just drag it upwards. And then you could tell that the text itself is not the same, but that's pretty freaking close if you ask me. And you could change like the size, since we have all those layers created. If you followed it step by step, you can move those around to make the text thicker, or move the super more behind the Metroid, or if it, like I said, if it gives you ideas for creating your own project, this is perfect idea, or to use this style text for a Metroid themed whatever. But I hope you guys like the result. Also too, if you guys haven't if you guys have original stuff, send me them on YouTube. Feel free. I'd like to see your guys' finished results, and I hope this all helped you guys out. And also, too, if you haven't already, be sure to check out my channel, my YouTube channel. Let me hear a little self-promote. Anyways, check my channel out. I do a bunch of tutorials, let's plays, all that stuff. And once again, guys, thank you for joining me, and I hope this helped you out.